Yeah. Alright. I think it's easy to say that Dragon Ball Z might be the most influential anime of all time. I'm not calling it the best, but if other shows like Sailor Moon and Yu Yu Hakusho cracked the door open, DBZ kicked it down and sat in the living room. Obviously, I'm a fan, but one of the most common issues with DBZ would be the fabled Buu saga. Along with some uneven pacing, as well as the idea of Gohan post-Cell was supposed to be the main character, but Goku gets thrown back in as the main protagonist. By this point, we know the cast and the personalities and how they play well off of one another. Well, most of them. We have two new, significant characters. We have a younger, more modern version of Trunks, along with a young Goten. And this is kind of the trend of the series, if you notice. When Goku grew up and became an adult, we were introduced to Gohan. And then Gohan grows up, now we have Goten and Trunks. And now we have Pan. And hell, in GT, they made Goku a kid small again, just because for some reason they always need a kid representation on the show. And also to sell toys. And also because I guess they wanted to try and capture the feeling of the original Dragon Ball, which did not fucking. But that said, we don't need to be bad. Look, Gohan is a perfect example of how you can write a child character with depth and layers, and even build them to become the center of a battle-centered anime. My long-term goal with this is to rewrite the entire Buu saga completely, but instead of a 3-hour video, which will break me, each video focusing on a different character and their story. In this case, Goten and Trunks, along with the tournament and the relationships that they have with their fathers, or lack thereof. Trunks does spend time with Vegeta training, but it seems like it's only training. That's all they ever do. Trunks, like most sons, worships his father, which, look, I get it, so do I. But Goten has never even had the chance to know his father. He's only ever heard the stories of this legend that is Goku. Can he ever even live up to it? Granted, he's a kid, but that's still a lot to put on him. So, let's start from here. Goten and Trunks are best friends at Capsule Corp. They're hanging out when Goku announces he'll be returning for one day for the World Martial Arts Tournament. Goten and Trunks will be entering the Junior Division. Now, in the show, Trunks trains with Vegeta while Gohan and Goten train together. Both are good stories, but let's pull it back a little bit. Instead, we have Vegeta tell Trunks he will slow him down and he will train on his own while Gohan will train with Piccolo. With the boys feeling cast aside, Goten has an idea. They go to Master Roshi to ask him to train them, but Roshi says he's too busy with his books and reading. But he believes Krillian will be a better trainer. Krillian refuses at first until he sees the will in Goten's eyes. And he says, you know, you remind me a lot of your father. Trunks thinks that Krillian is too weak to train them. And that's when we see Trunks go Super Saiyan for the very first time to show off and show that he's way stronger than Krillian ever will be. Right? And it's at this point that we find out that Goten hasn't even gone Super Saiyan yet. Krillian asks Trunks, if you can hit me, you can take my spot in the adult tournament. Trunks rushes Krillian, but he's able to dodge every attack pretty easily. Trunks even mentions Goku was Super Saiyan when he killed Frieza. How can he not beat Krillian? And that's when Krillian explains, going Super Saiyan is a multiplier, but without training, all you have is raw power. If you can't aim it, you're nothing more than a sloppy warrior. Once again, Goten and Trunks rush Krillian, but they cannot land a hit. He's too good at dodging them. Let me be clear, I'm not saying Krillian is stronger than a Super Saiyan. What I am saying is that he is better trained and better to move, while the boys still only have raw talent. This is where Krillian agrees to train the boys the same way he and Goku were trained all those years ago. First off, the milk run. Trunks and Goten protest, saying that it's too easy, they'll just power up and fly. But that's when Krillian lays down the rules. No powering up. Raw level only, no Super Saiyan, no ki energy. He even demonstrates with a rock how Master Roshi did it all those years ago. And with that, the boys are off to do their own training while Krillian watches. They all eat together at Kame House and the boys even sleep there. Chi-Chi and Bulma call for updates, with Krillian assuring them that the boys are getting it and getting better, they're being taken care of. We see everything from the milk run to the construction digging to running with turtle shells. And after a while, they begin combat training while still in base form. It's close quarters combat, much like what Goku and Krillian did, well, Krillian versus Goku, or Goku versus Deku Chun all those years ago. Close quarter combat, the fundamentals of what made DBZ, or I guess Dragon Ball, the original show, so good. Now, eventually they do move on to ki training, and this is when Goten learns the Kamehameha, while Trunks insists on learning the Final Flash. The boys are improving, and obviously this is more than one episode worth of material. I would imagine this would be like 3 or 4 episodes mixed in with everyone else's training as we learn that what they're mentally going through and what they're getting themselves into going into the tournament. At some point, they're out camping with the fire going, cooking a comically large fish, while Trunks and Goten start asking questions about their fathers. Trunks asks why his dad is always so angry and what the future him is like. Krillian can tell him the story of how the Saiyan planet was blown up by Frieza and how very few survived.
To me, okay? My mom told me my dad, he used to be the prince of every single Saiyan. Ah, he's a prince?
That maybe his father never talks about the Saiyan race because it hurts. And this is when Trunks learns for the first time that Vegeta is the prince of all Saiyans, and that he's technically royalty. He also learns that his future self came back from the past to help save people and help save the world, and he did. He was a hero, and Trunks feels like he needs to live up to that. But how can you be a version of yourself that will never exist? For Goten, Krillin tells him about the wars with the Red Ribbon Army, dealing with King Piccolo, dealing with Raditz and Frieza, how Goku learned to never give up, that to honor him is to simply try. So my dad was always the strongest, right? And Krillin tells him, no, I think it's more like he was never willing to give up.
If I were Gohan, I'd bet you'd let me go, wouldn't you?
Stop!
In the far distance, we see Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo listening in. The boys can't sense them, but Krillin can. Eventually, we move on to the transformation phase, and this is where Goten really struggles while Trunks learns to control Super Saiyan. Eventually, the tournament arrives. There's a gentleman's agreement among everyone, not just the kids, but the adults as well. No one uses transformations, base power only, to make it fair. There, the boys reconcile with their mothers. Trunks meets with Vegeta while Goten meets Goku for the very first time. The boys each sport their normal gear, but have the turtle symbol on them. Now, we jump forward to the finals of the Junior Division, where it is obviously Goten versus Trunks. The battle initially begins as a close-quarter combat, neither boy willing to back down. Eventually, it turns into a clash of energy battles, but Krillin shuts that shit down real quick. After another few quick skirmishes, Trunks goes Super Saiyan and judo flips Goten into the crowd. That's when Goten goes Super Saiyan for the first time. Now, both boys in their Golden Warrior forms now begin to battle, with this becoming a war of attrition. With each of them spent, they both power back down, out of from Super Saiyan, and resort to old-fashioned karate chops and kicks. Trunks, trying to figure out how to beat Goten, realizes he's taller than him, just a bit. And he calls for a final charge where he is able to get a deeper kick due to his height and win the match. Much in the same way that Jackie Chun did it to Goku all those years ago. We're paying homage to all that. Trunks picks up Goten and talks about how that was a really close fight. The boys walk off stage leaning on one another, exhausted but happy. After the fight, each boy talks to their respective fathers. Vegeta tells Trunks he's proud of him, and that he honored the Saiyan race today with his victory. Trunks has his father's approval. Goten apologizes to Goku for losing, but Goku tells him that he had a great fight, and that I'll even tell you a little secret. I always learned more from my losses than my victories. Goten is happy and hugs his father, while Krillin is there as their proud master as his tournament is about to begin. And there you have it, the first of what I'm sure will be a long rewrite of the Buu saga over the coming months. But with that said, what did you think? What can I improve on? Let us know down below. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch y'all next time. See you, everybody.